And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here, helping you win. Save our hotline number. Thanks to all that reach out to the show and support the program, 813-917-1894. Just call or text our hotline, 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And fresh off a day trip up to North Carolina, pretty cool. We had a private flight, took a trip up to a off-market property. Hopefully going to be listing that property around a $10 million asset. So pretty cool opportunity. Thanks to our team for filling in on that with us. James did a great job as the backup QB, the host. Jonathan and Jose always doing great jobs. So I appreciate you filling in for us on that. And we are here in studio today. We got Brittany Rudolph. She is the Director of Marketing and Events for Children's Cancer Center. It's a great organization here locally in Tampa Bay. I've had the great opportunity to network and to MC some of their events. So on stage, MCing, always looking for those opportunities to get out in the community and serve. And love that. Had a great time over at their golf event they had just a few weeks back. And they raised a lot of money for children with cancer. So Children's Cancer Center on the program. We got John Long as well, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIAHT.org, going to be on the program here, as well as Diane VANCE. Diane is our local area expert lender, all things mortgage and finance. Diane is a longtime friend of the program, has helped a lot of people get into their homes, a lot of radio show listeners, TV, and of course people from our real estate team. Love to work with Diane. We're going to talk about a cash guarantee that they now offer. It's a very innovative product. She's got a new program called a cash guarantee where, if something happens, it basically gives the seller peace of mind because you know that the lender is going to turn into the buyer. They will buy the house if that single individual or that family that's trying to purchase cannot qualify for some reason, or they give a $10,000 as well. So we'll talk about that coming up with Diane VANCE here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to thank our sponsor for this segment. Shout out to Discovery Golf Cars right here in Tampa Bay. You can check them out online, discoverygolfcars.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Talk to Ethan Luster. Talk to Kim over at the Clearwater location. And if you're talking about the Land O'Lakes and North Tampa area, talk to Marty over there, discoverygolfcars.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And we like to feature our real estate listings live on air. And it does a couple things. It's going to help our sellers profit more and sell faster, but also as a listener of the program and on the audience, it gives you a little sample of what's going on out in the community, what kind of pricing you're seeing for real estate properties here in Tampa Bay and different zip codes. But we've got a property here. Let's talk about a couple commercial properties. I've got 4220 West Pearl. This is in South Tampa. It's a great opportunity, just shy of $1 million. You got over a half acre of land, a small building, got a small office building there, 1,200 square foot building, and it's mixed use. So it's 0.6 acre lot. Corner lot, lots of parking, centrally located in South Tampa. And so it's a great opportunity if you have a business, construction business, you got a lot of equipment, or you just want a lot of space to be able to park vehicles and meet with your team. Great opportunity right here in Tampa, 4220 West Pearl Avenue in South Tampa. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And, of course, the radio show info at consumerqb.com. You can find links there to all of our expert contributors here in the Quarterback Show and previous shows as well. Follow us on social. Would love to connect with you. All right, John Long, go ahead and give us a little intro of what you're going to talk about today, my friend.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir.
To talk about just the idea that human trafficking is happening here in the United States. Oftentimes we think it's an international issue. It doesn't happen in our backyard, but the reality is it's happening here in the state of Florida. It's happening here in the Hillsborough County area. Yeah,
and aren't we number 3 in the country, something like that?
The state of Florida is the 3rd state in the nation when it comes to human trafficking.
Wow, and then what about Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay is the 13th city in the nation.
In the nation.
When
Wow.
it comes to trafficking.
Dubious distinction. Well, John, we're talking more about that coming up here in just a moment. Let's go to Diane Vance. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Hey, Diane, tell us a little bit about that cash guarantee program. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great program, and the idea is to put our buyers into a situation to be equal with the cash, that it's a guarantee for the seller that they will close on time. So the customer, what they want to do is go ahead and either reach out to you, Brandon, or your show, and we do a full approval prior to them actually finding a home, and then we do an addendum to the contract that gives the actual seller the guarantee that we will close the house on time. But if something happens, let's say something happens with, let's say they lose their job, or they go out and buy a car and they don't qualify, or we pull maybe a refresh and there's a collection account that was placed on there and they no longer can purchase a home. We will pay the seller either $10,000 or buy their home. Or if the person lost their job and they're going to get another job, we'll buy the house and then we'll just resell it to that buyer when they actually have a job. So it's a guarantee to the seller to make the the process guaranteed, so that they know they're going to close, even though they have they actually have the actual even though they don't have a buyer, that is, something happens that's a surprise. So it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. As you know, I mean, people have passed away on the way to closing. So that is a guarantee for the seller. So it actually puts the buyer into a better situation when they're out there trying to make offers and competing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a strong program. I love that. I've seen that on our offers from a similar type organization. But so as a seller, you just want to see, hey, I've got a guarantee here. This is a cash guarantee. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, and her team, they will either buy the home or you can exercise the option to have a $10,000 payout. Correct. And maybe move on to your backup offer. And sometimes you get into these kick out clauses. This is a kind of an addendum that people don't realize, even exist in many cases, but you've got kick-out clauses as well. So let's say you have this kick-out clause on one of your listings. I'm working on a deal right now that has a similar setup, but you got a kick-out clause. So basically it means that if you get a better offer or a new offer comes in, that you can, give give that first buyer the option that you're already under contract on. You give them the option to either put more non-refundable money down and remove all contingencies and say they will close, guarantee basically that they will close, or the sellers would have the option to exercise that kick-out clause, meaning it's going to kick that first contract out if they don't put down the deposit. Sometimes it's non-refundable. So yeah, kick-out clauses also kind of come into play in some of those situations too, Diane.
Oh yeah, that's a new one that we're just seeing recently. And now our guarantee has nothing to do with the contract. We don't change the contract as far as earnest money deposits, whatever the realtor's negotiated with the buyer. We don't change any of those things. We just have literally an addendum, and Brandon, I can send you the addendum that basically is actually attached to the contract that says we will guarantee that we will purchase that home if that buyer falls through.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great opportunity. We're talking with Diane Vance here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Team. Keller Williams Realty, on air almost 10 years now as your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Real proud to say that. DianeVance.com is the website. You want to check her out on DianeVance.com. And, of course, you can reach out to our show hotline if you'd like to get a value check on your home. Maybe you want to know what the value is, or maybe you're renting and you're saying, hey, I'd love to look at the possibility to get into home ownership. You can reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. Just call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. You can call or text the hotline, and we'll put you in touch with Diane Vance. She can do a rent versus own analysis for you, kind of break down what you could be paying in a new home or a mortgage or a resale home basically, and then get out of that apartment building or whatever you might be in situation wise. And then also, we like to talk about the market, Diane. So of course we know we've been beating that drum for a long time that the rates are about to go up. They have gone up a little bit, but it's not necessarily a direct reflection. When people see the Federal Reserve raise their overnight lending rate, that doesn't equate into necessary dollar per dollar or percentage rate increase on mortgage rates.
That's correct, and it's actually it's several things go into the mortgage interest rates. It's many things, and that has a little bit to do with it, but not entirely. So when you see it go up, 0.5% or 0.75%, doesn't mean your interest rate's going to go up that much. It just means that the market, they're trying to slow down inflation. And that's the reason. And interest rates are still really good honestly, they're still good. They're not what they were last year, but they're still very good. It's a good time to purchase a home. They're not coming down. I mean, they may settle down a little bit, but I don't think they're going to come down to where they were last year. So people are waiting on that. That was because of COVID and because of things that we hope doesn't happen. But they need to realize that you're paying rent, and if you are paying rent, rent's going up, and the appreciation of houses are also going up. So that's the reason that landlords are increasing their rent. So a lot of people, if you own that home, you're going to get that appreciation instead of your landlord. So I would highly recommend that, if you've been thinking about it, it's time to act and go ahead and get, even with the interest rates where they're at. Actually, it was funny. I talked to a customer the other day, and he was expecting, because of what the news is saying, he was expecting interest rates to be a lot higher, and he's like, "Oh, that's not bad."
Yeah.
It's like I was expecting a lot higher. So, anyway, it definitely is not a situation that would warrant somebody waiting much longer. So I think we need to get the reality out there that there's still very good interest rates.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait and see is not a good strategy. I tell you,
No.
I hear that too often. Oh, we're going to wait and see. No. Why would you wait and see? It makes no sense. And then, the chances of something causing pricing in Tampa Bay and South Florida, to go down is just, to me, it's just crazy. If you look at the stats, which we study every day, 97% absorption rate in Pasco County. Hillsborough County is in the 94. I think it was 94. Pasco or Pinellas County was 89 or 91%. So 97% absorption rate in Pasco County, and people are saying they're going to wait and see.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It really doesn't. And if they didn't wait, it's funny because I talked to customers I talked a year ago or 2 years ago, and they wanted to wait and see, and now the prices are up, $50,000, $100,000.
So now they see much higher price.
Yeah. So no, it's unfortunate, but it is happening. So interest rates are a little higher than what they were. They're starting to stabilize somewhat. But it definitely is. It's definitely still a good time to purchase.
Yeah, absolutely, and purchase with a team that can help you get into that property. A lot of times you're looking at some realtors that just, they don't understand how to set up hot sheets, how to see the properties right when they hit the market, or even controlling some pocket inventory, what they call kind of shadow inventory. I mean, we've got off-market properties that we control from time to time, people that we know are pocket listings. Hey, this listing is going to come up over here on this date. So if you're working with the wrong team, the wrong professional, you're missing opportunities that you don't even know about. A lot of times with this show, as a consumer advocate, it's about things that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. In some cases, I was talking with Doug Levi yesterday, had lunch with him, and he was talking about just some of the stuff going on in the insurance sector. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happening, and the state legislature is calling for a special session, and it's some borderline fraudulent type activity happening with some roofing companies, and texting and saying, oh, well, there was a name storm, or not a name storm. It could have been any kind of blip on the radar, I think. And so anyways, they're texting these homeowners saying, you're entitled to a free roof, and if your insurance company doesn't allow for it. I was reading the article this morning that he forwarded me, but kind of interesting. Have you seen stuff happening with the insurance space too, Diane?
We have seen some. Now, of course, we deal with like your him, basically his company is a very good insurance company, Florida Strategic, and they are all, we deal with a lot of reputable companies, but we have heard that there are a lot of those type things going on in the market. And I just had a customer the other day, the only insurance they can get is Citizens because of that situation. I think they were with a company that probably is one of those situations that was a victim of that. And I was really surprised because their house, wasn't that old and things like that. But, Yeah, no, we're hearing about it. We're not actually running into it because we're on the end where we actually get the initial coverage. Of course, then customers call us afterwards to say, hey, we're having issues with, keeping our insurance, or we're being changed to another insurance company. That's why you need a large insurance company that deals with several companies so that they can actually switch you to other companies because they know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Diane, that's about our time for today. We got about a minute left, but you got this new program also for first responders, veterans, teachers. I think you said it was something like a $500 lender credit.
Yep, it's called American Frontline Program, and we are rolling it out, and it's for first responders and teachers, veterans, and they will get a $500 credit off of closing costs, and we're rolling that out effective next week.
And the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, will match that as well for anyone that closes with us. And Diane will match that as well. Reach out to the hotline, and we would love to help you with that. Go to DianeVance.com. Check her out online. You can go, there's a pre-approval tool right there online as well. Makes it real quick and easy. And Diane, thank you so much. Appreciate the update.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You as well. Likewise, appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got John Long in the house. He is a fighter against these traffickers. The mission is to end human trafficking, especially sex-related trafficking. United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show coming up. John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. But first, I want to let you know about a hot listing here. 1211 Parsons. This is a property that we've got completely renovated, commercial property, professional building. So it could be perfect for a doctor, dentist, chiropractor setup, maybe massage. 1211 Parsons Avenue, Brandon, Florida. Almost 2,200 square feet, completely renovated office building, 12 treatment rooms / doctor's offices, updated reception area. Beautiful property. Business is on a major road, and this property has been completely renovated. Great opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. 1211 Parsons Avenue in Brandon. The owners put a lot of money and love into this home at 1211 Parsons Avenue. Great business opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, we got John Long in the house, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Welcome back. So it's a constant fight. You're always going up against the bad guys.
Yeah, it's nonstop. This is a battle. It's something that we don't always talk about. And so we don't realize how prevalent it is in our community.
Right.
It's been estimated somewhere around 40 million people worldwide are stuck in what they call modern day slavery, human trafficking. That's labor trafficking, that's sex trafficking, forced marriages. That's 40 million people.
Wow.
That's 39 million people live in California. So imagine the whole state of California, every one of those people being trafficked. And so it's something that's happening currently in our culture.
How much do you think these politicians in D.C. really care about it?
It's not very romantic to talk about. It's not on the top of their concerns oftentimes.
Yep.
We find that there's one side of the aisle that has it a little higher on the to-do list than the other side. It's something that we're pushing. We have an office in Washington, D.C., where we're just trying to raise awareness. A lot of it is even politicians don't know that this is something that's happening in their communities.
Right.
And one of our greatest supporters is Gus. Gus down here. Bilirakis. He has been a great support of ours and really pushing the agenda of making sure people talk about it.
Yeah, Gus is for us. He was on the show probably about 4 or 5 months ago, but yeah, great guy, and you can just tell. I mean, he just seems like such a genuine guy. Just a great gentleman. And unfortunately, a lot of the other politicians aren't. And you see them sometimes. You see some of these news clips they're quoting out of the Bible, and I'm like, wait a second, that is like, whoa, that seems like the opposite of what that person should have been quoting. But so you look at these things, and you look at the open border. That's one of the biggest things. I got a real problem with that. We got $40 billion slated to go to Ukraine. Yet we do have an open border at our southern border, and we know the numbers are astronomical. The drugs coming through, the fentanyl, and the human trafficking has got to be crazy numbers too.
I think it was 220,000 contacts at the border, just the southern border, last month.
Wow.
220,000. That's a lot of individuals. How do you process that many individuals?
Yeah.
Who's getting through? And that's the people that are actually coming to the border.
Right.
What about the people that are, smuggled and coming across the river? They're coming across where there is no wall, where it's open kind of territory where they can get across. So we don't know really how many people are coming.
Yeah.
We know human smuggling is a huge issue. People are getting paid to smuggle people into our country and then to transport them somewhere else. Social media platforms are being used to advertise for jobs to get people to come smuggle these people across the border. They want people that will drive them, that have clean records, that are likely won't get stopped at the border. So the border is it's bleeding people into our country that we don't know about or where they're going and what their agenda is.
And where they're from, too. I mean, it's not just Mexico. It's all the Central American and then even the Middle East. You see people coming from the Middle East. So chances are we've got huge amount of terrorists, who knows, plotting what next here in our own country.
Yeah, there's very little accountability.
Yeah.
And so we've got to increase our border control or patrol, making sure that we vet these people to come in our country. It's not that we don't want people coming into our country and that send them back where they came from, but we want to make sure we know what we're allowing to come into our country or who we're allowing.
And legal immigration.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not illegal, but legal immigration is perfectly fine. So many of our families are like that. If you think back, I mean, everybody's at some point had to be from another place, right? I mean, America is not as old as some of the European countries or, even African countries. So you look at that, and I know my grandparents on my biological father's side was first generation from Portugal. So can you imagine taking a ship back in the early, I think it was 1900s, jumping on a ship, no AC.
Yeah.
Probably took how many weeks to get over here? 3 or 4 or 5 weeks to cross
imagine.
I mean, but every family has a story, and it shouldn't be the modern day story that the left is trying to create of, just come on over. We're gonna eliminate Trump's remain in Mexico policies, and oh, by the way, you can sue the government once you get here for mistreatment. Like this, the unbelievable. It's just unbelievable to see what happened.
Yeah, and then when we look at that through the human trafficking lens, we've got these people that are coming in that don't have jobs, that are undocumented. They typically are afraid to go to the police. And so these are people that are being forced into that kind of industry.
Carrying the Chinese virus. I mean, who knows, right? Unbelievable. More with John Long coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Talk about how you can get involved, too, if you'd like to help out here on the show. Stay with us. We're taking a quick break. Follow us online, Consumer Quarterback Show, and at Brandon Rhymes 1 online. And our YouTube channel, over 1,700 videos, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator. and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Johnny, are we good?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and also teaching classes, teach the Win with Sellers class at Keller Williams organizations across the country and across Florida as well. And we'd like to feature our listings live on air. We got property at Village Glen Drive, 14663 Village Glen Drive in Carrollwood. This is a great opportunity to purchase a beautiful home, renovated home right here in Tampa Bay. It's updated, renovated, beautiful property. Got a pool, screened-in lanai, hot tub, outdoor kitchen. 14663 Village Glen Drive, compliments of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, almost 2,000 square feet. Keller Williams is the listing, and it's Carrollwood Village. Gorgeous, completely renovated property. Master bathroom features jacuzzi tub, sauna, tanning bed. You have a gourmet-style kitchen as well. Great opportunity. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
All I've got's love for Love City.
And a quick shout out to our friends Replenish IV Solutions. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan. Replenish IV Solutions. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's systems with crucial vitamins and nutrients, enabling your body to perform at optimal conditions. Multiple Bay Area locations, or they will come to you. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check them out online, replenishivsolutions.com. Okay, John Long's in the house. Human trafficking is the subject. And what are some of those things that people don't know? What do we need to know about human trafficking?
That's a great question. One thing that people don't know is we've got this picture that it's what we saw in Hollywood movies, in the movie Taken, where a girl's abducted and she's taken to a third world country and held for ransom. Typically, when somebody is trafficked, they're trafficked by somebody that they knew before they were trafficked. Could be a family member, somebody from work, somebody from down the street, somebody from church. And so typically they know the trafficker. And it's happening in every state. And it's happening to individuals that are juveniles, kids, and it's happening to adults, it's happening to boys, and it's happening to men. And so we have to raise awareness to ensure that people talk about this kind of stuff, that we have this talk with our children, so that our children are aware of how to use social media appropriately, how to use their phone, who to talk to, who not to talk to. Like before there were phones, parents would teach you don't talk to strangers.
Right.
They were there to kind of guide you. And now we just hand a phone to the kid and say, kind of figure it out. And it's the gateway to the world.
Right.
And there was one study where they did a study on high school kids, 40,000 high school kids. And 25% of those kids said that they had video chatted with a complete stranger in the last 12 months.
Wow.
And so that's not just a text, that's not a phone call. They're having a face-to-face video chat with a complete stranger. And so really raising awareness in your circle of influence with your children, making sure that this is a conversation we have.
Yeah, and all they have to do is slip up on one or two things. Oh, yeah, this is where I live. My parents do this on that day. Boom, there's the opportunity window.
Sure, we share everything through social media. We tell our full name, where we go to school, where we work, where we go to school, our relationship status.
Right.
We post, if we like our parents or not. And traffickers, people that are looking for victims, are looking through those things to try to find the weakness.
Right.
If they find out that your kid doesn't, is sharing that I don't like my parents. Well, you don't have to like your parents.
Right.
I'll be here for you. And so that's how that grooming
exactly. And oh, man, just look at what we saw in the school system last year with, don't tell your parents. I mean, that was the whole thing about the Disney bill. don't say gays, supposedly. No, it was a parental right bill. So, they try to separate that. The devil, he uses I read a book by Napoleon Hill. It was something about, the devil's number one tool is a wedge.
Sure.
Because if he can wedge those parents from those kids, now he's got all the opportunity in the world.
Absolutely. And to create that wedge. And then what a trafficker does is try to be that person that can meet that need.
Yes.
And so if the wedge is there and they start separating the family unit, that kid becomes vulnerable.
Yep.
Or that wife becomes vulnerable as the wedge is between maybe the marriage. And so there's, that wedge is an important thing to keep out and to keep the family strong.
Absolutely. We're talking with John Long here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIAHT.org. And John, how much of this, even just in general, just taking a step back out of human trafficking, but how much of what's going on today do you think is a spiritual war?
We feel like what we are called to fight this fight because of the darkness. There's a lot of spiritual warfare that's going on, and so one of our calls to the church is the church needs to really rise up. That it's time for the church to step up to the plate and to be vocal and stand up for what we believe and what we know is truth, instead of just being a submissive little thing in the corner that doesn't want to make any noise because we might get in trouble.
Or you might not get as many donations.
Right.
You might not be able to grow the budget.
Right.
You might have people speak out against you if you stand up strongly.
If we can move the church back to being a mission instead of a business, I think that it'll start to rise up even more.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and one of the archbishops or something along that line was arrested by the CCP or something along. You'd have to see Steve Bannon's podcast. But yeah, there's a war on religion. There's a war on the church. And even just look at the 2,000 Mules that just came out. 2,000 Mules, Dinesh D'Souza movie, depicting all of this fraud, all this major fraud that happened at the ballot boxes. If you haven't seen that yet, you've got to go see it. Salem Media produced it. You had all of the hosts in it. Most of the hosts in it were, you had Charlie Kirk, Larry Elder, Eric Metaxas, Dennis Prager, and there's probably one or two I'm missing, Sebastian Gorka. But yeah, they were all in it. Dinesh was the catalyst. But my point was this movie is showing all of these things happening around drop boxes, and they're using cell phone pings to prove it. And they said, let's set a high bar because we don't want to have any false positives. We want it to be weighted so much in the way that so they went to 20 different drop boxes, these mules, and there were 2,000 of those. They went to drop boxes and presumably Democratic strongholds as far as nonprofits, 20 of them. So ultimately, the end result was the election swing the other way. If you look at that, you negate all those extra votes based on those numbers. But you look at Fox News not showing it, Newsmax not showing it. People are cowards. That's the bottom line. People are cowards and they don't want to stand up for what's right.
Absolutely. So we've got to step away from that.
Yeah.
We've got to be able to make some noise. We got to stand up. It's going to hurt some people's feelings.
Yes.
Things may get rattled a little bit. My boss, Kevin Malone, who's a retired baseball manager, he shakes cages all over the place, and he doesn't care who he makes angry. It's because we want to have these conversations. We want to raise awareness, and we want to make sure people are willing to have these conversations.
Yeah, he's a true fighter, and he's a true patriot. I'm sure, the way that from everything I've seen at the gala the other day, or a few months back, that was great. John Long here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. How can people get involved?
Go to our website and get trained. That's the number one thing that we push people to do, because what I hear often as I travel the nation and talk about trafficking is people say, I didn't even realize it was a big issue. And when we talk about boys being victims, people oftentimes say, I never thought about the boy being a victim. And so go to our website, get trained. There's training on there for individuals, for businesses, churches, medical professionals, law enforcement. Go on there, educate yourself, and then educate your sphere of influence.
Yeah, and it's even, you think when you kind of break that down and digest that and unpack it, think about what is more taboo in society, right? A male with a female, even if it's younger, versus a male with another male younger. So that's why it's probably more of a prevalent thing in that underground society, is that, because it's just not as acceptable in society. So they're going to be more sneaky about it, more clandestine.
Yep. And they, it's been estimated somewhere between 20% of men in the United States are going to pay to have sex or have a sexual act performed at least one time in their life.
Wow.
And so this isn't just kind of that creepy guy that's in a dark corner that's doing this. These are people at the country club. These are people, politicians. These are teachers. These are people that are working next to us. And so it's not just that creepy old man that's in the corner on his computer.
Yeah.
It's something that's happening all over the place.
Wow. Yeah, man. Final thought.
Go get trained. It's time to raise awareness. Again, we challenge the church to rise up and to really take this and run with this. We care more about Johnny Depp's trial and what's going on in his life than we do about the 100,000 kids that are being sold in the United States every year. Yeah. And so it's time to raise that awareness.
Or our fantasy football picks.
Sure.
On and on and on, right?
It's easier to talk about those things than the hundreds of kids that are being sold here in the state of Florida.
Right. Yeah. Have that tough conversation with your sphere of influence out there, folks, and be a force for good in the community, like we say. Do that random act of kindness, like we say on the show. John, thanks a lot, man. Keep up the good fight out there.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. It's great that you guys are standing up and at the forefront of this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got Children's Cancer Center Representative Brittany Rudolph on the program here coming up, Director of Marketing and Events on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, Honor Flight brings World War II veterans to Memorial. They're taking a flight up to D.C. We'll be right back with more on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And this segment is brought to you by Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter and his team do a great job. They're veterans. They served our great country, and they have a company called Veteran Gutters, American-made products, commercial, residential, right here in Tampa Bay. If you're thinking about putting gutters onto your property, you should definitely talk to Brandon Porter. I can tell you from firsthand experience, he is a first-class organization, does a great job right here in beautiful Tampa Bay, all things gutters. And we like to tell you something positive here on our story, feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we got an honor flight brings World War II vets to Memorial. So this is out of Waimama, Florida here, among 65 Tampa Bay area military veterans who will fly to D.C. on Tuesday to visit and reflect at the memorials dedicated in their honor is George Tamburello, 98-year-old Waimama resident who served in World War II. At the age of 19 in 1943, Tamburello left his home in New Jersey to join the U.S. Army and served as an infantry anti-tank specialist. He was awarded the Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and Combat Infantry Badge during his time in uniform. And he's quoted as saying, "During the war, I was about to die. I was about to get blown up," he said. "The shells were coming in, and I knew the next one was going to land on me. I got down on my hands and knees, and I prayed in the mud. It was raining, it was muddy, and I prayed to God as if he spared my life. I would always be honest, faithful as I could be, and honesty has been my theme." So there's our feel-good story of the day. I love that. And speaking of veterans, I got a clip I'm going to play here for our vets. This is a clip from a podcast I listen to. Covers more of the national scene, international scene, worldwide scene. So I just want to play this since it's talking about veterans.
Tomorrow's webinar is about a specific line of attack by Larry Fink aimed at taking the federal retirement funds of American military personnel and government employees, past and present, and putting them, as Larry Fink likes to do, at the service of the Chinese Communist Party, including, by the way, almost certainly in companies that do business for the PLA, the People's Liberation Army of China, acquiring the weapons with which they intend to kill our men and women in uniform. This is insane. Donald Trump said it wasn't to happen. He adopted an executive order, as did Joe Biden, saying this sort of thing must not happen.
Yeah. So, anyways, any veterans out there, spread the word. That's going on right now. So, interesting stuff happening there. We always like to feature our listings too. We do have Brittany coming up here in just a moment, but I want to let you know about a hot listing that we've got here in Tampa Bay. A couple of hot listings. This one's at 14121 7th Street in Dade City. We've got a restaurant for sale in Dade City. It's on a prime location, a great street, highly trafficked street with lots of parking. It's an established restaurant since 1990, located at 14121 7th Street in Dade City. Beautiful property, and this is in great condition. You've got a on-site opportunity for your manager to live on-site. You got 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, and the sale includes the furniture, the equipment. Perfect for perfect entrepreneurial investment. Plenty of parking available at this beautiful property here in Tampa Bay, and great property. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Brittany Rudolph, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And what a great event that was last time, just to kind of go back into the past there, that golf event at Top Golf. That was an awesome time.
Yes, it was a great event. We raised the net proceeds of $85,000 to go directly to the children and families battling cancer at the Children's Cancer Center.
Wonderful. Yeah, that was such a fun event, a great setup, and what a great venue, too. Top Golf is a fun time. So it was pretty neat. I've been to some different fundraisers there and different events, but, Children's Cancer Center had the entire, I think it was the third level, from one end all the way down to the other. It was all sponsored. Those booths or whatever they call them filled the place. We had to pack house there. That was fun, Brittany.
Yes, we had a live band, and it's just we like to be creative with our fundraising events to get people to support the center. There's a lot of golf tournaments around town, so we try to keep people on their toes with doing different things, like you're still playing golf, but at Top Golf. So it welcomes even the most, even the less experienced golfer.
Yeah, exactly. And you post up, you got some beverages floating around, you got some great food and opportunity to network. I think people really like that opportunity, whereas a golf actual on the golf course, you're kind of running around in a cart for a few hours. You're not getting as much of that FaceTime with each person as you normally would. So that was fun. So what's coming up with the next? What do you got coming up next?
Yeah, so in that same breath of our creative event, so we created an event out of COVID called Ride, Restore, Refresh, and we do that in collaboration with Union 3 Studio. They're a great cycle and spin studio that opened their doors 16 days before the pandemic. So you could imagine their challenge. So they worked with us, and we created this event that would be COVID compliant. But now it went really well, so we kept it forever. So it's 30 minutes of cycling, 30 minutes of yoga, and then 30 minutes of refreshing. So then 30 minutes of drinking. And then you create a fundraising page, so you're riding Ride, Restore, Refresh for the children and families of the center. So it's a really fun, creative event that we last year raised $100,000 from, and it's at the Children's Cancer Center, so you can come check out our facility while you're riding for the kids and families.
And the location, the center is right there on Cypress Street, close to where we're broadcasting from right now over here with Salem Media. We're over on Laurel, but Cypress is very close, right around the corner.
That's right. A lot of people don't know about the Children's Cancer Center facility. So I always say we're tucked right in the middle between West Shore and International Mall, just off Cypress. And I think that's what's so special about us, is that we run our over 29 programs through our facility. And the fact that it's a separate facility than the hospital, our kids really think of it as an oasis, and it's not a place to get pricked and prodded. It's a place where they foster relationships with kids that are just like them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Brittany Rudolph here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. She's the Director of Marketing and Events with Children's Cancer Center. And Children's Cancer Center's mission is a little bit different from a lot of the other cancer organizations. Brittany, can you tell us about that?
Yes. So what we do is we serve the immediate needs. When a child is diagnosed, we say the whole family is diagnosed. So we support all their immediate needs. The emotional, financial, and educational needs are our three pillars of our mission. So through over 29 support programs that are completely free to the entire family, we serve every member of the family. So we have programs for the siblings. We have a mom's program just for the moms. But yeah, so we make the immediate needs for when a child is diagnosed at the 5 surrounding hospitals here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, that's a great organization, I tell you. And I had the opportunity to MC the Wine, Women, and Shoes event. That, I believe, is later in the year. Is that October, November time?
Yes. So Wine, Women, and Shoes has really turned into like our bread and butter, we call it, because we raised so many funds from that event. And that is going to be this year on October 6th at Armature Works. And we're going live next week with tickets, so we always sell out within like a couple weeks. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you got a great team over there. So the team's behind the scenes putting it together. You want to shout out any of your team over there?
Yes, we do. We have a new team that our new development team, so Gracie Golterman and Nico Miola, they are our new development team, and they also were brought on to launch our RISE program. So we did that in collaboration with the Ryan Callahan Foundation, Go Bolts, and we created this nutrition program. So RISE is called Restoring Inner Strength and Energy. So a lot of these families are being, nutrition is not on the forefront of their mind, but it is a big deal. So we are trying to make that super easy for them. We are on a meal plan. We have meal plans set up for them so they can get nutritional food, and then also coming up with exercises with them that they can do in the hospital that make it really easy for them. So that's a new program and a new team that we're so proud of. And just to find new ways to serve these families while they're through it.
Yeah, that's great. And if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking with Brittany Rudolph. She's the Director of Marketing and Events with Children's Cancer Center. And we've been involved with Children's Cancer Center for a number of years now. And we always like to allocate a certain amount of our time from the program to highlight local area nonprofits. Of course, we talk daily to business owners and attorneys, CPAs, all types of great home service providers and other businesses here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. But today we're talking with Brittany about Children's Cancer Center. And Brittany, give us a little bit of the scope as well. I know in a given year you serve a large number of families at Children's Cancer Center.
Yes. So we serve over 1,000 families that are in our database. So we serve them as soon as they are diagnosed, and then we serve them into survivorship. And there's inevitably, unfortunately, that fork in the road where they either go into survivorship or bereavement. We serve into bereavement as well. So the side of cancer that we don't want to think about, but funeral costs, therapy afterwards. So we are serving these families for life. We are really there with them, whether it's survivorship or bereavement. We're serving all of the demographics.
Yeah. And how would you like our listeners to, our audience to get involved?
I would love to get involved with any of our fundraising events. It's a really easy way to just find out a little bit more who we are, or even just come for a tour. The biggest thing we've been in Tampa for 45 years, and so many people don't even know we exist. So just we will do a tour for anyone and everyone to find out more and really spread the word about us. So childrenscancercenter.org is where you can find us, and on Instagram, Children's Cancer Center, and just to get connected, we would love to meet you and tell you more about us.
Yeah, awesome. Check them out online. And thanks so much. We appreciate you calling in, Brittany.
Thank you so much for having us.
Say hello to Patty and the team. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. All right. So, hey, another great show. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. We had John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, and, of course, Brittany Rudolph from Children's Cancer Center. And as we always say, we want you to please go out there and make it a great day and do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community and see how you can, make an impact. Do something kind for one another. Something as simple as sometimes, packing up food, leftover food that you may have, and handing it to that homeless person that you see on the side of the road, or as in your daily travels. Take some canned goods and whatnot, and give it out to them, and have some little care packages in your car ready to go for these folks that are in need in our community. And thank you so much for tuning in to the show. God bless. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.